We've been trying to find out more this morning about what joining the government city deal scheme is going to mean for Coventry and Warwickshire. We're among 20 more areas which have been accepted, and essentially it's going to see power devolve from Whitehall to drive through a plan that's been thrashed out to boost the local economy. In Coventry and Warwickshire, we're told the emphasis is going to be on creating engineering jobs. Let's talk to one of our local MPs, Chris White, Conservative MP for Warwick and Leamington, joins us on the show. Morning, Chris.
Morning, Shane.
Thanks for being with us. I mean, we were talking earlier on an hour ago, and we were saying, look, you know, that's part of it, about driving up the engineering emphasis of what we do in the area, but there's also this devolved powers to the council as well. It's quite a difficult animal to explain, isn't it?
Yes, but as you say, it is about focusing on what we're good at. You've mentioned in your remarks about our heritage, and I think as a chairman of the Associate Parliamentary Manufacturing Group, every single meeting I've been to, we've had businesses talking about, you know, what are we doing about skills? How are we going to be able to do something about the skills shortage, which is very real? And I think you say this proposal is part of it, but it is a very big part of it to make sure that we're prepared to support our local economy and, you know, play to our strengths, and our strengths, you know, is some very, very important engineering. It's some very high-tech engineering, and I think this is a very, very much part of the solution.
What worries me, though, is we know all of these things already, and sitting here, you know, when I talk to people at the universities and colleges, I talk to people from Jaguar Land Rover, I talk to local smaller components manufacturers who feed into the bigger manufacturers. They all talk about these issues. They all know it is an issue. Do we need to be part of this city deal in order for things to happen? I don't understand why.
Well, I think you actually answered your own question. We know what the problem is, and this the deal goes a long way to addressing that problem.
How does it do?
All the organisations you've mentioned, from the universities to the small businesses, or through the Federation of Small Businesses, have all been involved in sort of identifying what the need is. And this is something that will address that need. Devolving power from Whitehall, allowing the local authorities to set and spend their own budgets, but actually make that sure that is a very targeted spend, whether it's through investing in new courses, making sure those courses sort of demand meets supply, and, you know, recognising that to develop our future, to develop our engineers, and we're talking about, you know, 5,000 engineers, new engineers being trained in the next 2 years. That's a very firm number. And
you're talking about local council, local authorities, you know, spending budgets. I mean, they haven't got the budgets to spend on the stuff that they're supposed to be doing. We're closing libraries. The lights are going out in Warwickshire. The roads are full of holes in Coventry. And you know, isn't that the essential stuff we should be dealing with? Never mind the esoterics, as it were.
The issue is to make sure that our local economy is as strong as it possibly can be. And I think through this deal, that will deliver a very strong economy, where you can see the response to some of the issues that you've just raised.
But specifically, how will it address? He says it will address these things. I don't understand. I haven't heard anything yet this morning that tells me specifically how it's going to address these issues.
Well, in my view, if you have a strong economy, if you have greater employment, you can get the returns from that employment. And to me, it seems a very sensible direction to make sure that we've got the infrastructure, we've got the people, we've got the collaboration, we've got the focus, we've got the momentum, we've got all the organisations working together with, you know, in harmony to deliver a very substantial project.
But in real terms, how is it going to deliver jobs or support? I don't understand how it's going to... I mean, what you said, they're just words, aren't they? You know, collaboration and driving forward. It's just business speak. How is it going to actually do it, Chris?
Well, to your specific point is making... through training these girls in engineering, making sure that they've got the skills that our industries need, we will be starting to develop our economy far stronger. We will be certainly at the centre of the UK's industry in terms of advanced manufacturing and engineering, and not only centre of this country, but we can really become the centre of the world. And through getting the right skills, which is absolutely fundamental to any economy.
Yeah.
If you haven't got skills, you can't create investment and create the jobs. And through creating the jobs, we create the economy that will begin to thrive and support what you're asking about.
What are we saying? That what councils are going to train people? Who's going to train these people? Because isn't that the job of universities? I don't understand.
We have a very strong, as you know, we have a very strong higher and further education network. The Coventry University, Warwick University, Warwickshire College. These are the places where those apprenticeships are going to be delivered in collaboration and understanding.
But that happens now, doesn't it?
Not to the extent that it should happen, not to the extent that it will happen.
So why don't you give the money to universities then, or help them out to do that?
Not only have we got the collaboration from the local councils, we've also got the collaboration from local business, whether it's through the Federation of Small Businesses or the Chambers of Commerce and the Chambers of Trade representing business that can work together, create the investment, create the sort of public-private partnership that will deliver the skills we need. Oh. And, you know, you've mentioned about universities and colleges, but there will be a greater understanding, which perhaps, you know, I'll accept that, you know, why hasn't it happened up to now? Perhaps it hasn't happened up to now because there hasn't been a proper realisation of working together to understand what we actually need to develop our locality as a premier place for doing business, creating jobs, and building our economy.
All right, let me bring in Jonathan Walker then, who's from North East Chamber of Commerce, who helped Newcastle upon Tyne get city deal status last summer. Morning, Jonathan.
Morning.
Does it work?
I think what's important to note is these things don't arrive as sort of a fully formed package, and you know we're going to see fireworks from day one.
I've got to say, it sounds like a paper tiger to me. It just sounds like what the Americans would call BS. It's just words, and it means nothing. It's, you know, synergy and together and partnership. I don't understand how it physically actually creates jobs.
What it has the potential to do in Newcastle is to essentially give the local authority far greater influence over the way in which money can be spent locally, can retain more money locally through an increase in business rates, to invest in significant infrastructure projects, to unlock some development sites that in the current climate really aren't that attractive for the private sector to invest in. That's just one aspect of it. The other aspects include greater devolution of responsibility for the way in which money can be spent on things like skills and employment policy.
From a Chamber of Commerce point of view, I don't know what your councils are like up there, but as I said, you know, we're closing libraries, we can't keep the lights on in Warwickshire, Coventry's roads are full of holes. Is the council the best place to have these budgets spent?
I think what we've been pleased to see in the North East has been that while those decisions are being taken, and that's not to say that these aren't very difficult decisions, that actually people within local authorities here are looking at more creative ways of bringing in funding. So Newcastle's City Deal essentially allows the council to borrow money against a future return from business rates, which will allow them to unlock sites which hopefully businesses will move into and will invest in, thereby providing that return. So
they're lending what? Taxpayers' money, essentially, or money that's guaranteed against taxpayers' money to businesses?
No, this is being borrowed through the government. Essentially, it's money that will be raised against the future return.
Well, that's still taxpayers' money, isn't it? So the government doesn't actually have any money; it's mine and yours.
Yes, but it's not. It's not unsecured, if you like.
Right.
This is, and the reason this has taken so long is, as I'm sure you can appreciate, this is a very complex process, and there's been a huge amount of negotiation with Treasury and other government departments to ensure that the risk is covered in this.
Some would say ridiculously complex. I must admit, I'm fast becoming one of those. Jonathan, thank you so much for trying to explain that. Jonathan Walker from North East Chamber of Commerce, who helped Newcastle upon Tyne get the City Deal status last summer, and before that you heard local MP Chris White, Conservative MP for Warwick and Leamington. Hey, if you've got any thoughts on this, or if you can help me out, 0845 900 0800 5200. Unfortunately, I'm one of those people who's not too proud to say I don't really understand.